What's the best way to do this? So we're doing a watch party for our base shop. I'm considering doing a watch party in Southern California for the hierarchy. What I would like to know now, what's the best way to do this? Let's just put it in the chat room right now. If you're not able to go to Vegas for the convention, if you're not able to go to Vegas for the convention, and you would be interested in attending a watch party. Now, I know some of you aren't going to Vegas because you don't have childcare. And if you don't have childcare, you probably couldn't make it to a watch party. Some of you aren't going to Vegas because you can't get out of work. And so you're going to watch bits and pieces in between work shifts, but you couldn't make it to a watch party either. But for some of you that were not able to get in-person tickets, and you will be in Southern California, and you'd be interested in attending at least one full day of a watch party and possible multiple days of a watch party, please put in the chat room watch party. Watch party. Put those two words, watch party. And Evelyn, if you could get a name and a head count of those people that are interested, that'll give us a good indication of whether there's enough interest at a hierarchy level and how big of a venue we might need for a watch party to all wear our merch together, to all attend together, to all take notes together, and to fellowship together. Okay, great reminder. Thank you, Hobby. What would I do without my hobby? All right, so we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about your target market. We're going to talk about my vision for the next 3 to 6 months in the hierarchy. I want to dramatically shape the direction that our hierarchy is going. And I know it's not going to happen overnight. I'm going to continue to help you with marketing. I'm going to continue to help you with social media branding. I'm going to continue to help you with sales skills. Those 3 things over the next 3 to 6 months. And I want to change the trajectory of our hierarchy. And so we're going to start with target market. And really getting clear on what our target market looks like and what it's not. Little recap from last week. We talked about this last week. Sort of the old school way of looking at things. Everyone is your prospect. Really what the new direction I want to take you in is everyone's not your prospect. We've all had that philosophy before of everyone's your prospect, and we've had a lot of bad prospects that we waste a lot of time on. Talk to everyone, but you've got a hidden agenda. Your friends, your family, the cashier at Starbucks, at the grocery store, the Uber driver, you're talking to everyone, but you've got a hidden agenda. We're going to shift that to, I want you to begin to brand yourself in a way that is attracting your ideal prospects to you. So you're not chasing people, they're coming to you. The old way is you're looking to get everybody to join or buy. The new way is you want to create value for others and you want to serve others, especially those ideal prospects. The old way is you're not perceived as a valuable resource to your prospect, and you can't really help somebody until they join or buy from you. The new way is what Nikki Cannon does every week, what a Brooke Sternberg does every week, what a Natalie Plant does, and Nate Ireton does, is you're creating value for people, whether they're in your organization or not, whether they're on your team or not, whether they're in WFG or not. You're creating value for people, even people who don't become your clients. You're creating so much value for people that they are interested in becoming your clients or interested in joining you organizationally because you've created so much organization for them beforehand. And the old way is sort of pitching the comp plan and the income, and your products are the best in the world. And the new way is not about broadcasting or advertising anything about the company or the comp plan or the products. People want to learn from you and they want to meet with you because they trust you and they see you as a subject matter expert. Trust and subject matter expert and authority are the 2 keys that you want to begin to brand yourself in, okay? The old school way is we're going to approach, build rapport, we're going to qualify them, we're going to invite them to a one-on-one or a big meeting, we're going to schedule them, we're going to confirm, then we're going to present to them, and then after the presentation, we're going to have objections, and we're going to overcome the objections, and then follow up and then close. That's our old marketing system. The new marketing way is to attract more and more people, to influence them, and then to enroll them. So the old way is sort of a two-step. We're going to target or chase prospects, and believe me, it works. And I'm not going to say you should stop doing that today, because there's a transition process. By the way, I built my entire hierarchy that way. I got paid $14,000 this week. Why? Because I was really good at targeting and chasing people, doing a ton of prospecting, and then I got really good at sales skills. Paid me 14 grand this week. Hope it pays me more next week. So it's not a bad way to go. The new way that I think is going to be easier for more of you is to attract people, and then to influence those that you're attracting, and then for them to enroll from there. Oh, shoot, what just happened? That was weird. So how many of you have heard the term before, network marketing? Unmute yourself. Tell me what you think network marketing means. What do you think network marketing means?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you do. I'm gonna sit back and think for a second. You go ahead while I do that. I just forgot.
Yeah. It's a kind of marketing where you use distributors, middlemen to sell your products.
Good. Anybody else got an idea to share about network marketing?
I'll take a stab at it, Christopher. This is Gracie.
Okay.
Network marketing to me means that you develop a network of relationships with people, and they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And if you are in business together, you help each other out in your business.
Excellent, Gracie. Excellent. That's an excellent answer. Poria.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, to me, it's like the two that are together, and it's more like the old school ways. So you have like the networking aspect there, and then the marketing, and you put them together. And like, I mean, it gives me that old school vibe instead of the new way. So it's like that old way, you know, where you like go in and try to track and all that stuff, like, because you're networking and then you're marketing at the same time too.
So good. That's excellent. Excellent. I like that answer too. So let's look at both. Okay. Sort of the old way of sort of looking at network marketing is your personal network. It's your friends, your family, strangers that you meet. And some people have a great, like when I showed up, I had a great personal network. But some people's, let's be honest, some people's networks suck. Some people have either not very supportive friends and family, or they've lost credibility with their friends and family, or they just don't have a lot of friends and family, or they've got sort of estranged relationships. So what do you do then? Then it's like, okay, well, the strangers that you meet, get a big blowhorn and a John 3:16 sign and hide at the gas station and jump out when people are pumping, right? So that's sort of the old idea. The new concept is aligned with what Gracie was really suggesting. It's the network that you build. So I already know this. Nikki Cannas has built a great, huge, she's got her Mocha Moms group, for example, right? That's a network of people that she's added those people to her existing network, right? She's added those people to her existing network. She's constantly adding not only individuals, but she's adding new groups of people. She didn't add individuals from the Mocha Moms. She added the whole group of Mocha Moms to her network of people that she influences. So you want to be conscious as we move forward over these next 3 to 6 months. What is your network that you want to build? What does that look like? The size of it, and what do the people inside of that network look like? Social media is one of the ways that we build that network. Who do you want to be attracting? Who do you want to be new followers of yours on social media? And what is the messaging that you want to be giving them? There's that old saying, your network determines your net worth. Traditional prospecting relies on your current friends and family. And then there's this churn and burn approach to the cold market. And there's not enough emphasis on building, expanding your network. And that's really what we're going to be talking a lot about, what I'm going to be challenging you to do. Some of you will, some of you won't. It's okay. Attraction marketing is about building a new network of people who know you, who like you, and trust you. Well, how do they know you? When you're consistently posting things of value to them. When you're consistently posting things of value to them, people are going to get to know you. When you're posting personal things, like I'm going to post a lot of things that create value in financial services, but I'm going to continue to post about my family, right? I'm going to continue to post my love of the Cardinals, even though I live in a town largely obsessed with the Dodgers, right? Why? Because I want people to know me, not a false sense of being, well, I live in Los Angeles, I should post Dodgers things to try and get Dodger fans to like me. No, I want people to know me and like me for who I am. And so you want to begin to become very conscious of the things you're posting and get people to know you and to like you and to trust you in the way that you're going about promoting things. That's the style, right? And you're building your brand. And as you're building your brand, you're influencing your network. Selling versus marketing. We're going to be teaching both. To me, it's not an either or. To me, it's and both. Selling and marketing, both. I want you to get great at selling and I want you to get great at marketing. If we can do the two of those together, I think we're going to experience exponential growth together over the next 3 to 6 months. So the traditional process, right, is all selling, and it requires a high level of sales skills and a lot of role play and a lot of practice. If you look at our top income producers, they're all either being field trained by somebody with really strong sales skills, or they have really strong sales skills, okay? But too oftentimes when we're recruiting people, we try and convince them it's not selling, that it's sharing, right? And it's educational. And the fact of the matter is, it's not. It's selling. It's selling. The aim of Peter Drucker was sort of like John Maxwell before John Maxwell, a generation ago. He said the aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous. The aim of marketing is to know and understand the customer so well that the product or service fits him or her and sells itself. That's the aim of marketing. Remember, marketing and selling are different. We're talking about marketing specifically when it comes to social media and your brand, right? You want to know your target customer so well that your product or your service and the problems that it solves fits the individual so well that they want to buy it from you, so you don't even need to sell it. That's what marketing really is. You Inc. So I want you to think, I want you to stop for just a second and listen to me. I want you to think for just a second. The brand you're promoting is not WFG. It's not TFA. It's not I'm an advisor. It's not I'm an agent. It's not WFG. The brand you're selling is not Nationwide. The brand you're selling is not Pack Life. The brand you're selling is not WFG and our comp plan and look at the money. The brand you're selling is not IUL. I'm selling this IUL concept. Your branding is you. And that's got to be the first that you have to understand. Your brand moving forward on social media is you should be branding you. You are your own unique brand, and your brand is going to look different than my brand. It's going to look different than Nikki's brand. It's going to look different than Javi's brand. It's going to look different than Christine's brand or Yvonne's brand. You Inc. Okay? That's the brand that you're marketing and that you're increasing the brand's value and influence. Eventually, you're going to be attracting people. When we say through ads, the stuff that you're posting. Ads are in effect, what are you posting? And as you post more and more, you're going to be advertising your brand of You Inc. Okay. The key is, I want you to look at these 2 bullet points. I want you to focus your message on the big problem that your target market has. Don't focus your message on the features and benefits of an IUL. Don't focus your message on the features and benefits of an indexed annuity. Focus your message on the problem that an index universal life solves. There's a difference there. Do you guys follow that? Focus your message on the problem that an indexed annuity solves, not the features and benefits. We too often, and you'll see this with other people promoting our company or similar companies online, is they're constantly talking about the IUL and the features and benefits of the IUL. That's not what you want to do. It's not, people aren't going to, how many posts have you seen like that where in the comments section, people go, oh, I need one of those IUL things. Let me answer that for you. Zero. You're looking like a pitch artist or some sort of carnival salesperson, right? That's not what you want to be talking about. You want to be advertising solutions to a big problem of your target market. There's 2 keys there that I underline. One is you need to clarify who is your target market. And 2, what are their big problems? Let me give you an example of what my target market is not. My target market's big problem is not debt. Not. I don't make $14,000 a week helping people get out of debt. And with our debt related products and services, I don't. I'm not, my ideal client isn't in debt. My ideal client is making money and is saving money, and they're looking for better places to save their money. My ideal client has a lot of money saved in old 401ks and IRAs, and they're looking to move that money to a place that's going to be a better, safer place for them to invest in. So when you're looking at your target market and their problems, you need to get really crystal clear on this, okay? We want to influence, so that's how we're going to attract them. We're going to attract them by know who we're trying to attract. You know that old saying, like, there's an old saying about like, honey attracts more bees than vinegar or something like that. Okay. The key is if I'm using honey, I'm attracting bees. If I'm trying to attract bees, then honey is a great strategy to attract them. But if I'm trying to attract walruses, honey might not be the best technique, the best strategy. So first I got to decide who is it I'm trying to attract. I'm not trying to attract people with debt issues. I'm not trying to attract maybe people that need to make more money. I'd rather attract people like when I came on board, I was making 130. When Nikki came on board, she was making 130. We didn't need to make more money to pay our bills. We were already making enough to save money and pay all of our bills. We were looking to make more money. There's a difference. There's a difference. Nikki and I were having a conversation yesterday about target markets and prospects. And I said, hey, I've never mistaken these individuals to be the next coming of Nikki Cannon. Because when Nikki Cannon showed up, she didn't need the extra money. She wanted the extra money. She didn't need a way to pay her bills. She was already paying her bills. She was already saving money. I showed her how to redirect the money she was saving. There's a difference. So first, you've got to get clear on what does your target market look like, and then what are the problems that your target market has. And we're going to advertise to those. Number 2, influence through value and education. When we tell people, well, no, it's not selling, it's really education. Here's where we start educating. You've got to give away all the best education that you have. providing helpful advice and tips to help your target market with their problems. The more advice, the more tips that you can give them to help them with real problems that you know that they have, the more you're going to attract similar people with similar needs. And the more you're going to show up as somebody who's consistent, you're going to show up as somebody who's an authority, you're going to show up as somebody who's trustworthy. You must be able to help people even if they don't join you or buy. Well, how can I help people if they don't join or buy? Because I'm posting so much valuable content, so many great tips, so much great advice that people are learning and making better decisions with their money because they follow me. Your brand equals, I'd write this in your notes. This is sort of like part of the big target, part of the goal. Your brand equals the size of the network. How many authentic followers do you have on Facebook or on Instagram? How many authentic followers do you have? Multiplied by how much influence do you have over them? How much influence do you have over them? Well, how do I influence them? The more valuable things that you post, the more they're going to trust you and see you as an authority, and your level of influence grows. Does that make sense to everyone? Anybody have any misunderstandings or struggling to understand that? People will buy from you, they'll join you, they'll DM you instead of you DMing them. They'll DM you because they trust you and they see you as a subject matter expert. We talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. Here's the hierarchy of buying. Up here, we're talking about authority and trust. See that? That's the exponential influencer. It's when they trust you and have authority. You see that right here? Oh, wow. Wow. So right here, your brand equals the size of your network, the number of followers, times your influence. And your influence is how much do they trust you? How much authority do they see you having? Trust happens right here. When you have a current relationship with somebody, they may not be liking any of your posts, they may not be commenting, but they may be following and every day looking forward to your next post. They may be following you and reading every post and taking notes and finding tremendous value, even though they're not liking, even though they're not commenting, even though they're not DMing. You're building a relationship and they're beginning to trust you more and more and more with every post. And the consistency of your posts, the more consistent you are, the more trustworthy you become to them. Secondarily, you're becoming more and more of an authority and being recognized as an expert because of the value of the posts. What makes a post valuable to them? When it identifies a real problem that they have, that your target market has, and real helpful ideas, tips, advice, tools, resources to help those people with these problems. Does that make sense, everybody? Can you guys see the connection there?
Yes.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
else we talked about a few weeks ago when it comes to selling. When it comes to selling, we want to connect. Part of connecting is this consistency of posting. When we're consistently posting, we are connecting with these people, even if we don't know that they're connecting with us. Okay? Part of this, when we're posting about problems in that our target market experiences, we're showing them that we understand where they're at. We understand what they're dealing with. We can relate to them. We get them. We're not trying to present our products or services to them. You see why talking about IULs or annuities on your posts is skipping all these other steps, trying to close them on why they need one of these, trying to create a sense of urgency, act now, the market's crashing, you need to get one of these. All of these things are premature on your posts because we haven't spent enough time connecting. We haven't spent enough time showing them that we understand their problems. And we haven't spent enough time talking about solutions and what solutions look like. Not products look like, solutions. If you didn't have this problem anymore, what would the future look like? That's what the solution is. If you guys go back a couple of weeks to when we were talking about the 6-step sales process. The solution is when the prospect describes to you what it looks like if their problem didn't exist anymore. We're not talking about products yet. Okay, so we're asking them questions and they're describing their problems. They're describing their pain points, what they're frustrated about financially. And then we're asking them, so in your words, if this wasn't a problem for you anymore, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, well, how would things look like to you? How would they feel? And they go, well, I'd be here, and here's how things would look, and here's the money I would have saved, and here's how my money would be growing, and here's like, well, I wouldn't have to worry about how it's growing. They describe to you what the solution looks like in their own words. Once they do that, then we can talk about the cost of inaction, the consequences of them not changing anything, and how things can get worse. Then we show them how our product or service creates this solution and helps them to get away from their existing problem. But we can't, we cannot post about these things. We want to be focusing really on these things as we're posting. Yes.
Hey, Christopher, that's it. So is that why you always reference, it's not just about doing it one time, but the consistency of it is what's going to continue to, like you said, that being recognized as an expert in the field, the more consistent one is in sharing this information. It may not be the one time you do it, someone responds, but the consistency of it changes the look of the person towards you as that expert. Therefore, they'll feel like, hey, I'd like to know 4, 5, and 6 because they've done 1, 2, and 3 with me so far. Is that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Attraction. Exactly. It's an attraction is when they ask you about 5 and 6 because you've done such a great job on 1, 2, and 3.
And they make that choice, right? It's not, I'm telling you I'm the expert. You choose to say that I'm the expert per the value I've given you in these steps. Therefore, you're not giving me authority to come across that way when you reach out to me.
Just think about, in your own experience over the past 5 years, is there anybody that you've followed on social media for a period of time? And one of the reasons you love following them is that they're constantly posting things that you're learning about, that's something you want to learn about. And like,
Yes.
They're never trying to sell you anything. They're just posting and creating value. And you love all their posts. You're getting a ton of value out of them. And then every once in a while they go, by the way, here's a free ebook, or by the way, here's a resource I have available on my website for X number of dollars. And you want to go and learn more about that resource, or you want to go and buy something because of the reciprocity. They've created so much value already for free that you see them as a subject matter expert. You value their opinion in this area. You trust them because they haven't been pitching you every single time. And now that they finally do sort of throw out, oh, well, by the way, I do have this product available. You actually have an interest in it, you buy it. Am I the only one that's done that?
I'll share a perfect example. There's a guy named Inky Johnson is his name. Yeah. He's a public speaker. I started listening to Inky Johnson through Eric Thomas, and I followed him on Instagram, and every clip or post he was sharing is like, damn, this guy's really good and resonating. And then one time he posted, so over months, I've been watching this guy, and he finally posted like, hey, I'm going to be in North Carolina
come to my show, and I'm like, I end up DMing like, when are you coming to California?
Yeah.
So because he never asked me to join his seminars, but because I found so much value, I'm reaching out saying, dude, when are you going to bring that here? Because I'd like to go see you in person because I found so much value this entire time without you telling me I have to go see you.
Perfect example. Perfect example. You've
Got it.
never met him before. You don't have a
Never.
personal relationship, but he's built a relationship with you, right? Even though he didn't know he was. And you begin to trust him more and more with every post, and you value what he's posting. So you see him as a subject matter expert. So then you reached out to him. He attracted you to him. He didn't pursue you and chase you and then try and convince you. He attracted you to him. And then through his consistency, you said, hey, how about me? That's a great example, Edson. Does that happen to anyone else out there?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm new, but I'm selling right now, and even pulling people that WFG, other group has tried to bring in, they refused. And I find out that the reason why I'm probably connecting with people now is because of, credibility, personal branding
Sure.
that I already had, in
Sure.
different areas, even on social media. I have a whole family on Facebook who loves me because of what I did. Look forward to reading whatever I give out there every day. So I've never met them in person, but I can possibly connect with them just by my name. And right now, a whole lot of people, all I'm hearing, oh, Chidim, I'm just coming in because it's you. I don't believe in all these things, but because it's you. So that made me know that we should be careful how we live our lives. And you have to be very attractive. No matter how good and skilled you are, you don't laugh, you're not attractive every time you're too serious. Even when people are tired of being serious. People have a lot of problems that is, kicking them around. People love one people, but, don't come selling anything to anybody. Get to know them, connect with some people somehow. Once people love you, you can sell anything to them. So that's what I'm using. I'm using that side of me as a marketer, to get everything I want.
Yep. So it's exactly, it's what we're talking about today is you've got many of you like Chidima have credibility amongst these people that have known you for a while, family and friends, your extended network. What we're talking about today is how do we grow the size of our network so that more people feel the same way about us as these friends and family that have known us for years and that we have all this credibility with. Excellent. Has anybody else had an experience like Edson did? Where they began following somebody on social media, found so much value in what they were posting that eventually they said, hey, I'm going to buy some sort of product or service from this person.
Yeah, Chris, you are saying things that Gary Vee has been preaching to the crowds for a number of years, and that is don't post for products or services, but post things that are of value about your own journey and what you're doing, and people begin to understand who you are as a person and what you're going through with your own life. And then whatever you're doing begins to emerge in those postings to where it's not a pitch, but it's just simply a reflection of your own journey.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Gary Vee was one of the first to understand this and really be a proponent of this. Very good. Very good. So your brand equals the size of your network or the number of followers, authentic followers, not like if you bought followers, times your influence, how much they trust you and how much they see you as an authority or as a subject matter expert. Make sure you've got a big double underscore bold that written down in your notes, because that's really what you want to focus on is how do I increase my brand? The size and the scope and the level of influence of my brand. What's another word that we can use instead of brand is your community, your tribe. Malcolm Gladwell had that great book. I think it was just called Tribes. Fantastic book. It's about building your community, building your tribe. How do we go about doing that? And first of all, how do we go about doing that? We've got to be intentional. We got to decide this is what I want to do. I can't really increase significantly the size of my tribe, my community, my brand today. But what can I do daily where 3 months from now, 4 months from now, by the end of the year, my community, my tribe, my network has grown in size and size of authentic followers, new followers that chose to follow me, not ones that I bought. And what can I do to increase my level of respect, trust, authority, expertise amongst these people? If you're not, it's not going to happen if you don't set it as a goal. That's why I want you to write down the formula, and I want you to be focused on that, because every single one of you can, whether you got a good market or you don't have a good market, whether you have a big market or you don't have a big market, every one of you can do this using the power of social media over time, but only if you get clear about here's the goal and here's the plan I'm going to have to do that. Which brings us to target market. Last few minutes of today's call, we'll have to pick up next week where we left off. What does, if we're good, what does your target market look like? Can I tell you, sometimes in the pursuit of deciding what your target market looks like, you know what sometimes is a good part of the exercise? Decide who's not a part of your target market. Like I've already decided, hey, people that are in debt, not a part of my target market. Me getting clear on that helps me to narrow down who really is in my target market. I want your target market to be so narrowly focused that it's exclusive. This is not an inclusive thing where a big tent that everybody can fit under. That's companies win and when they've got a laser focus on who their target market is. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about aim small, miss small. In war, if you're like aiming at this soldier across the field from you, you could miss the soldier. If you're aiming at the third button down on his jacket from the top down and you miss the third button, you're going to hit him right in the heart. Aim small, miss small. So get really small on who is my ideal target market. Why haven't we so far gotten really that narrowly focused? Here, can I tell you why? Scarcity mentality. We're afraid there's not enough people out there that make 150 grand or more a year, that have no debt, that are already saving $1,000 or more a month, that already have $300,000 or $400,000 saved that they can move. There's not enough people of those people out there. So let me go from 150 grand a year to anybody making 50 grand or more a year, because there's more of them out there. And there's not enough people that are already saving $1,000 a month. So let me bring it all the way down to somebody who can save $100, right? We try and make it bigger because we've got a scarcity mentality. I want you to just, how many multi-million-dollar homes are there in Bel Air, do you think? How many in Beverly Hills? How many in
Too
Santa
much.
Monica?
Too much to count.
How many in Redondo Beach? How many in
Hundreds.
How about thousands? How about Manhattan Beach? How about Palos Verdes? How about Rancho Palos Verdes? How about Torrance? How about Camarillo? How about Westlake Village? How about Chino Hills? How about Anaheim? How about Tustin? How about City of Orange? How about Ontario? Like, there's so, like, in each community, there's so many. And then you think the size of Southern California, and then you think the size of the United States, and a couple of 100 million people on Facebook, a couple of 100 million people on Instagram, and you're watering down your target market because you think, well, there's not enough people that fit my ideal prospect. No, you just don't know enough of them yet. Your network doesn't include enough of them yet. Your community doesn't include enough of them yet. Get clear on who your target market is and start marketing, start advertising, start branding, start talking to them. And they will find you because they're already, think about this. Like, I can't tell you how many things just in the past week that I searched for online, and I was very clear and specific about what I was searching for. And then I found all kinds of choices that are advertising the very specific thing that I'm searching for. they're already looking for information to solve the problems that they have. They're already making money, saving money. They want to learn how to invest it better. They want to learn how to avoid taxes. They want to learn how to really grow it, but not risk it. They are like, they're already saving money. They already have money saved. They're looking like, I've never heard of an IUL. I've never heard of an indexed annuity, but here's the problem I have. Is there anything like this that exists that could do this for my money? When you're promoting the right ideas that solve the right problems, they will find you. But you got to be clear on what that target market looks like. Traditional prospecting, no target market, everyone's your prospect. Therefore, low conversion rates and low quality leads. Lots of rejection, and it requires high sales skills, very inefficient. And here's what it ultimately does to too many of you. It creates limiting beliefs. This is harder. People can't afford it. People can't afford to get licensed. E&O and platform fees are too expensive for people. People can only put a couple $100 away in an IUL. People only have $30 or $40 or $50,000 saved to roll over. Like you create these limiting beliefs because you've been working with limited level prospects. Real entrepreneurs make millions and millions by narrowing their target market, right? Gary Vee, Stan was talking about Gary Vee earlier. Gary Vee knew exactly who his target market was in the wine industry. And he created tons and tons of value by showing here's the low cost, high value wine item for people that had bougie taste, had champagne taste, but a beer budget. Man, I love good wine, but I can't afford great wine all the time. Gary Vee was like, yes, you can. Here's a great wine. Here's a great wine. Here's a great wine that nobody knows about that has a low price. And he educated. It's a fantastic entrepreneurial story. He knew who his target market. He knew there was a whole bunch of people out there who loved great wine, but only had a budget for this. And he created so much value and educated them. And that all of a sudden he created this huge following and millions of people purchasing from him. He made millions because he didn't talk to people who consumed alcohol. It was wine drinkers, not people who consumed alcohol. It was wine drinkers. It wasn't everybody over the age of 21. It was wine drinkers. Okay. You've got to choose your target market and focus in on one. There's a temptation to go, well, I want these 30 to 40-year-olds for this reason, and I want these 50-year-olds for this reason, and get really clear on one target market and get really great at branding, advertising, and educating to them. And then we'll get started on a second target market. You can expand once we're having a lot of success, but we want to really create so much value. But you're right, it's like Gary Vee. Once he's making millions on wine, then he could have gotten into IPAs or beers or scotch or some other thing. But if he would have done that prematurely, he would have lost his laser focus. Aim small, miss small. I feel like this is where we need to get started next week because I've got a hard stop at 10. So write this in your notes. Write this in your notes. On the left-hand side, your target market, here's what I want you to do homework on. Here's what I want you thinking about and actually beginning to brainstorm this next week on your target market. Start brainstorming. What are all the problems? First of all, what does my target market look like? What does my target market look like? What does my target market look like? What are the problems that they have? I want you to brainstorm all the potential problems that your ideal target market looks like. Once you brainstorm 8, 10, 12, 15 different problems that they have, what are 6, 8, 10, 12 different fears that they have? Not might have, that they do have. You should know your target market well enough to know the fear. What are the things they talk about? What are the things they are afraid of? What are the problems that they have? Thirdly, what are the things that they want? What are the 6, 8, 10, 12 things that they really, really want? Fourthly, what do they dream of? What does your target market dream of? And then fifth, what's the language they use when they talk about their problems, their fears, their wants, and their dreams? What's the lingo? Get really, really clear on that. For you to get the most you can out of next Friday's call, you're going to have to do your homework. Because if you just go, okay, I'll wait to see what everybody else says next Friday, you're going to be far behind. For you to be able to create value and begin to create this brand at You Inc. and to begin to expand the brand, expand the community, expand the tribe, for you to begin to create value and give them really good, helpful tips and advice, you've got to take the time to go through this exercise I just lined out, these 6 steps. Who is my target market? Get clear and specific. Maybe spend some time on a Zoom going back and forth with one of your teammates and making sure that you're as clear and specific as you think you are. And then going through each one of these 5 things your target market is looking for. If you can't do that, then everything I talked about for the past hour, you're not going to do. Some of you are like, well, this is hard. I don't know where to begin. I've never done this before. Good. So start now. Or 6 months from now, everybody's going to be smoking you and you're going to be wishing that you would have. You've got to do the work to begin to create this tribe, this brand, this community down the road. And it starts with you doing the best you can based on your experience and your understanding today. Don't wait till next week to get more clear and more understanding before you start. Start today. Then next week we'll refine it together because I'm going to be calling on you next week to go through each one of these and we're going to work on refining it together. Okay. I got to scoot. So let me just make one last announcement. Senior Associate Deanne Charles had 5 teammates on today. Deanne Charles has also earned a Senior Associate patch for her bomber jacket. Give it up for Deanne Charles. 5 teammates on today. Margie Hand consistently killing it. 9 teammates. That's actually low for Margie. 9 teammates on today. 6 of them with cameras. Give it up for Margie Hand. Nikki, 15 in the base today. 15 in the base shop today. 7 had cameras on. I had 8 people on today, so maybe you shouldn't listen to anything I said. I only had 8 people from my base shop on today. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Get to work on your homework. Don't show up next week without your homework. Don't show up next week with your homework. You deserve better. Your family deserves better. Your community deserves better. Your tribe deserves better. Start working on getting better today by doing the work, not by watching trainings. Okay? Appreciate you guys.